This is where we're going to unveil the BCS standings every Sunday night. Now, we're still a week away from the release of the official standings, but we do have the mock standings. Now, this is not just something that we're throwing against the e-board, so to speak. Brad Edwards, our BCS guru, has 5 of the 6 computer formulas used in the official BCS standings, plus the Harris poll and the coaches poll. So only one computer is missing. This is going to be very close to what it would be if the standings were to come out right now. At number 8, the Auburn Tigers. Big test coming up for Cam Newton and the fellas against Arkansas on the Plains Saturday.
Good. I like Cam Newton. Auburn at number 7, SEC, and they can control their own destiny if they just win out. You know, and I got to go down here and pick up the Hogs. Impressive in their defeat to number 1 Alabama. So no problem with them at all.
But I am going to go with Auburn undefeated. Cam Newton, I agree with you on that one, Craig.
Better dual threat quarterback, Cam Newton, Terrell Pryor.
Terrell Pryor.
All right, more likely to run the table from here, Auburn or Alabama?
Auburn.
Okay. Better in the clutch, Kellen Moore, Cam Newton.
Oh, you got to go Kellen Moore. Non-AQs, baby.
All right, stronger arm, Andrew Luck, who you saw Saturday, or Ryan Mallett?
Stronger arm, Mallett. Better arm, Luck.
Okay, that's just part of the legend of Ryan Mallett, right?
Legend.
Walks through the park for a touchdown. Newton, touchdown. Cam Newton with his 3rd rushing touchdown. Newton with his 4th touchdown, a career high. And you can strike up the Heisman campaign right now. Tie game, 2 seconds to go. West Byram now for the win. And the Cardiac Tigers continue to get it done.
Our Wells Fargo reliable source takes us to Auburn, where quarterback Cam Newton joins us via telephone. Undefeated so far, but it hasn't been easy. Some fourth-quarter heroics, including last weekend against Kentucky. Why have you been able to be so successful down the stretch in games this year?
All the credit goes to our coaching as a whole. You know, them having an excellent game plan going into those games, and we've just been trying to exploit the defense in any way that we feel like we can be successful.
Got to make plays, too, and you certainly have made enough of those. And Arkansas this week, and you'll have to make some plays against the Hogs. What do you know about the Hogs' defense so far?
You know, they're a solid defense, like any other defense in the SEC. You know, I think that's what we signed up for, or being in this tough conference. You know, Arkansas is an excellent team. They have an explosive offense, you know, led by Mr. Mallett, and, you know, we just got to be prepared to take on the defense. And, you know, they're a solid defense, like I said earlier.
What game on the schedule are you looking forward to most the rest of the year? I mean, I know every game's important, and you'll tell me you're just looking forward to the next one. But which game on the schedule do you look at and you go, that's sort of the one I really am looking forward to?
Honestly, you know, you already took the words out of my mouth. You know, I really feel like at the position we're in right now, we can't look forward down our, schedule right now. I'm really looking forward to this Arkansas game, and, you know, we're going to need a lot of big plays to come from our players.
You mentioned Arkansas and Ryan Mallett. What's one thing that you do better than Ryan Mallett, and one thing that Ryan Mallett does better than Cam Newton?
You know, I don't know. I really can't say what I do better than Ryan, but, you know, he's a big guy that has a cannon for an arm. You know, he has a lot of good receivers that he throws to, and he does an excellent job in leading that offense and put up big numbers.
It's like when I'm in my backyard with my nephews. I can sling it. It's like he is on the field. I've heard a bunch of different nicknames for you. Camzilla, Scootin' Newton. Which one is your favorite of the nicknames you've heard?
I've taken the dinosaur. You know, from a coach on the coaching staff. Coach Trooper calls me the dinosaur, and I asked him why he calls me the dinosaur, and he says my talent is very rare nowadays. So I like that one.
I like that one as well. Well, good luck the rest of the way. Thank you very much for visiting with us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much for having me. Have a blessed day.
Des, that is a full-grown man, and that is a dangerous team down there at Auburn. Are they the best team in the SEC, and is he now the best player in that conference right now?
I wanted to hear what type of dinosaur he is. That's what I wanted to hear. But I think, you know, I don't think there's a player right now up to this point in the season in the SEC that's played as well as Cam Newton. And, you know, he brings a lot to the table. Obviously, he's a big athletic quarterback. He's getting better and better with his decision making. He can throw the ball, and obviously he's such a threat running the ball that it keeps defenses off balance. And with him playing at the level that he's playing, they're probably the best team in the SEC right now. But I'm going to tell you one thing. South Carolina, they were very impressive Saturday night against Alabama.
Just point out, Auburn and South Carolina have played, and Cam Newton, his team got it done the fourth quarter. Thanks.
So let's get right to our front runners. LaMichael James has overtaken Robinson as the nation's top rusher. Boise's Kellen Moore, 14 touchdowns against just 1 interception. Terrell Pryor isn't leaving the list, but nor is Robinson. His September stats have built enough of a foundation. Now, 2 years ago, Oklahoma's Sam Bradford won this award with stats that were ridiculous. He led the nation with a passer rating of 180. This year, there's a quarterback with a passer rating of 180, and he's on an unbeaten team. Auburn's Cam Newton. Cam leads the country in yards per attempt. As he showed this weekend, he takes over games and wins in the clutch. Newton tops those players who are on the move. He's there with Nevada's Colin Kaepernick, and the movers also include Stanford's Andrew Luck within striking distance. This week's Heismanology must-watch games. Terrell Pryor's at Wisconsin, but the top game is a battle of the SEC quarterbacks. Arkansas visits Auburn. Ryan Mallett looking for redemption in a national spotlight. He faces unbeaten Auburn star Cam Newton. With this week's Heismanology, I'm Joe Tessitore.
Welcome back to the experts on ESPNU SEC West Showdown. Let the round robin fun begin in this absolutely stacked portion of the SEC, starting with Arkansas and Auburn. For the Hogs, Ryan Mallett leading the conference in total offense. Right behind, Cam Newton, Saturday, 3:30 Eastern Time. Got a question from Katherine Johnson on the Plains about her Tigers potentially playing for a national title.
I'm Catherine from Auburn University, and my question is, given the historic strength of the SEC, could Auburn go to the national title game with the undefeated season?
Catherine wants to know, in this dominant stretch for the SEC, winning all these national titles, LSU, Florida, Alabama, if Auburn can be one of those teams to go undefeated and win a national
Check the
championship.
card, see if it's on the card.
This is not the two-point conversion card, so I think we need to throw that one out.
History would tell you no.
That's a great question by Catherine, because the last time they went undefeated, they didn't get to play.
So what goes around comes around. Maybe they get a shot here. First up, Arkansas. We can talk about the Hogs, but let's answer this for Catherine first off. Do you see this happening?
100%.
It could happen. I actually think this is the week that Auburn will go down to Arkansas. You've got Arkansas's strength, pass offense, versus Auburn's weakness. I'm sorry, Catherine, I really am. Auburn's won a lot of close games. A year ago, they lost these close games. Kentucky, Georgia, Alabama. They're winning them this year. A lot of the credit goes to Cameron Newton. But you've got the 10th-ranked pass defense in Auburn versus the top-ranked pass offense in Arkansas. And even though Arkansas still can't run the football, they may not have to, because it's all going to be about whether or not Auburn can match up in the perimeter with that group of receivers for Arkansas. It's going to be a tall order for them.
That's the only thing shocking about the defense of Auburn, because you see Nick Fairley, he can rush the quarterback. You wonder why they're not having success in the back end, which you see in a lot of. But here's the thing, Mike Hartline, he was efficient this week. Wow. I mean, did a great job. How about Kyle Parker, the guy we're just talking about being Mr. Up and Down, not having a good season? He was efficient, and so was Steven Garcia. So you look at a guy like Ryan Mallett coming into this ball game against this defense, you got to assume that there's going to be a lot of success. But, flip it on the other side of the coin, too. Arkansas is going to have to be able to bring their lunch pail and try to stop the number one rushing attack in the SEC.
Auburn's the only team in the history of the BCS from one of the major 6 conferences to have an undefeated season and not get into the national title game. In my mind right now, the top 2 conferences in the country ranked in order are the SEC West and then the Pac-10 number 2. Pac-10's number 2. And if you go undefeated and win the SEC championship game and you come out of the West, 100% you're going to be in the national title.
I'm going to ask a stupid question. Isn't Gene Chizik the defensive guy? And what does his defense play like?
Last year, too. This
I know they need talent.
They got to recruit.
I know they need to recruit. But these guys for Arkansas, you look at Mallett, 300-plus yards in 10 career games. He can throw the football. He has guys that can catch it. They'll go get it.
But, to the point earlier, you look at Auburn's offense and whether or not they're going to be able to slow them down. We talk about Cam Newton being a Heisman candidate. This is a very versatile offense. You can't focus on any one dimension, even at the quarterback position. Forget the other 10 guys on the field for Auburn offensively. The other piece is we talk about the matchup not being that great, but if there were a Cinderella team in the SEC with the success that this conference has had, it's the Auburn Tigers. So back to the question, if they run the table, are they in the national title game? They're like the Boise State of the SEC because everybody's going to say in 2004 you shafted us.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to have wins over Alabama and in the SEC.
Well, they'll earn it. Don't get me wrong.
Arkansas, LSU the next 2 weeks. Then Alabama.
This round robin, I think they're going to beat each other up. And if you look at Auburn and Arkansas, outside of playing their bye games, every game has been close for both of them. All of them have been a one-score game, one way or the other. Arkansas is the only one that's lost one. That was to Alabama. So I look at these two teams. We're going to see some thrilling football, I think, in the SEC West over and over and over because we know LSU is addicted to drama. And these games are going to be fantastic, I think, over the weeks to come.
And as good as Ryan Mallett is as far as pub, he deserves a lot of credit. He threw 7 interceptions all of last year. He's already got 6. It's like good Mallett, bad Mallett. It's kind of like pick your poison right now. He's not
look out for the
just
second half of these games because, Pat, as you mentioned, they play tight. Auburn's been the team winning in those late game situations. Arkansas, past 2 second halves, Texas A&M, Alabama, 6 total points. That's 2 field goals, nothing going right in their direction.
They can't throw the football. I mean, they can't run the football, so they're forced to throw it.
They don't even try.
There's only one team that has fewer rushes than they do, and it's Vandy.
By 50? Picture now by 50. West. These are the key games of this round robin we've been talking about. 4 teams in the top 12 from the SEC West in the AP top 25. And when you look at the coaches poll, Mississippi State actually received votes this week. So it's essentially Ole Miss that's not given any poll love at this point. Pat mentioned he thinks they're all going to beat up on each other. David Noor, you mentioned that this is the best conference, not just the best division, the best conference in all of college football. When push comes to shove, the dust clears. Who ends up taking this division of the SEC?
I still think you have to look at Alabama as a favorite, and I think they're going to be helped by the fact that they just lost a game to a team from the East. But that South Carolina win really makes this the most interesting race in the country. And I think any one of those 4 teams, if they run the table, could conceivably get into the national title game.
Those first standings will open some eyes. Auburn, of course, undefeated, very much in the mix because of the play of Cam Newton. He has been perhaps, along with Denard Robinson, the most valuable player in college football so far, #1 in passing efficiency. He's running for 112 yards per game. He's been responsible for 21 touchdowns, and he's got a tough assignment, Auburn and Arkansas, in a potential shootout this Saturday. Todd McShay to break down Cam Newton inside the film room.
I could watch Cam Newton on film all day. I mean, he's just a different breed. 6'6", 250 pounds, has a rifle arm, can run, make big plays with his feet. But I think the thing that impresses me the most when I watch him is that he makes everyone around him at Auburn better. The first area is with his scrambling. You see here, he tries to stay within the play. He tries to stay in the pocket. He tries to find receivers down the field, but nobody's open. And eventually he's able to use that mobility to get a positive gain. Now watch closely. 1, 2, 3 times in the pocket, 4 times he's looking to find a receiver, now off and running. But he still keeps his eyes down the field. 1, 2, 3 more times. 7 different times Newton tries to find an open receiver, nothing's there. That's a sack for most quarterbacks. For Newton, it's a big gain for a first down. Now again, working within the play, the cornerback blitz comes, he's dead to rights. But he gets outside with his mobility, his eyes are down the field, and he's able to make that throw. Stop it. Are you kidding me? That's unbelievable on the run, throwing that ball back down the field as accurately as he did. That tells you everything you need to know about his talent. I think in the run game, it's Newton's mere presence that really helps out the rest of this group. Watch number 22, the middle linebacker for Kentucky. His key is the offensive guard. Both the guards wind up pulling to their left, but he's also keeping an eye on Newton. That split second right there where he doesn't follow his keys is the difference between a short gain and a long one for this offensive Auburn. Now, you take a look at Arkansas's defense. It excels at rushing the passer. This group ranks 4th nationally in sacks per game. So what does that mean to Newton? He's going to have to be on the run, make great plays and decisions while under pressure, and use his feet to elude the rush. If he can do that, I think Auburn has an excellent chance of exiting Saturday remaining undefeated.
Been on a roll. You picked the Spartans and the Seminoles. Who's on the radar this week?
This is a slight upset. I like Arkansas to win at Auburn. And the reason is, I think the passing of Ryan Mallett will distribute the ball to more playmakers than Cam Newton will be able to do. If they slow down Newton, they slow down Auburn.
Easier said than done, but it takes guts. You talk about a road underdog, which you got right twice last week in the SEC. That's impressive.
Well, let's hope they make me right again.
7th-ranked Auburn, another big game at home when they host 12th-ranked Arkansas. Tigers have lived dangerously all season long, winning all 4 of their games against teams from AQ conferences by single digits, including 3 wins by 3 points each.
Mark, back in the SEC, Arkansas and Auburn, Cam Newton is just about unstoppable.
I like the maturity here. Watch him in the pocket. He's going to go through his progressions. He's going to feel the heat. He's going to stay up in the pocket, step up in the pocket, make a good decision with the football, be smart with the ball, make a big play happen. Not only that, he makes a huge play happen. And Cam Newton leads the SEC of all runners, 112 yards per game on the ground.
What are we learning about the SEC West, Matt? Did you expect the race to be this competitive at this point in the season?
We knew it was going to be a strong division, and obviously with the returning national champion in that division, everybody said Auburn's your dark horse. Arkansas got a lot of love. They've got 4 of their teams right now in the top 12. 2 weeks from now, LSU and Auburn are going to match up. Those are the only hopes for the SEC right now, to have an undefeated team all the way through the season. And we'll find out if LSU's defense is better than Auburn's offense, and whether or not in the week in the interim they can improve on either. But right now, it's not so much a 1 or 2 team conference. It's a division conference. The SEC East very much down with Florida at number 22 and South Carolina yet to prove if they can make it through an entire season with success.
Yeah, you think about the games that are coming up after that LSU-Auburn game. LSU has a week off preparing for a home date against Alabama. You've still got the Iron Bowl. LSU and Arkansas play each other in their season finale. There is so much ahead yet in that division. Comparing the numbers for Ryan Mallett and Cam Newton, the 2 quarterbacks who are going to face each other on the Plains on Saturday, Mallett has passed for over 1,700 yards. He has 13 passing touchdowns, a pair of rushing scores. Meantime, Auburn's Newton has thrown for over 1,100 yards, 12 touchdown passes, also 9 rushing scores with 672 yards on the ground. Matt, which of these 2 quarterbacks has the best potential for success at the NFL level?
Well, they both are going to have their opportunity, I think, but I think it comes down to which offensive system they're going to be entering into. If you are a pocket-oriented passing game, a West Coast style, a guy that you need with a big hose at your quarterback position, Ryan Mallett's your guy, but he is not a mobile guy. He has to have excellent pocket presence if he's going to remain upright versus the NFL pass rushes. Cam Newton's a totally different animal. He's more like a Randall Cunningham, and if you can harken back to those years, a guy that can make plays happen with his legs, but we're seeing more and more he's coming into his own in the passing game as well. So as these personnel managers, these GMs start evaluating these quarterbacks, they have a year or so probably with Cam Newton. I doubt that he makes the leap after this year, but Ryan Mallett for sure is gone. They're going to be looking for that arm strength and whether or not he can manage his presence in the pocket and evade rush, because you know he's not going to leak outside and gain yards for him with his feet.
Yeah, not fleet-footed, but he can definitely get himself out of trouble and into position to make a play when he needs to. On Monday, Arkansas head coach Bobby Petrino was asked by the media if he noticed that there were 4 SEC West teams in the top 12. He said he hadn't, and then he quipped, "Are you trying to let me not get sleep?" Razorbacks haven't scored a touchdown now, Matt, in the second half of both of their last 2 games. Why is that happening?
Well, part of it's consistency, I think, and it's also because they've jumped out to some leads in these ball games, and when you're a pass-oriented offense, it's hard to jump into ball control mode and you end up in dinking and dunking if that's the case. If you lose focus in the passing game, obviously balls start dropping to the ground. Ryan Mallett is the center of their offense, and so it's always a challenge. You jump out to a lead and you either blowtorch them in the second half, or those teams tend to struggle managing that margin of victory, that margin on the scoreboard. I think more than anything else, it's a lack of focus. And when you look at great teams, you look at an Alabama, potentially a South Carolina, if they can finally put it together, it's the focus through 4 quarters that'll win you these ball games. Arkansas has got a lot of big games on their slate yet. They're going to have to put together 4 quarters. They can't just play halves at a time.
A lot of focus needed for this game at Auburn. The Tigers, a team winning close calls. They win another game by 3 points, 3rd time this season, and this one at Kentucky came down to the clock winding down to 0. How are these Tigers better equipped this year to manage these late game pressure situations and come out on top?
I don't know. Maybe it's a mascot thing. We've talked about LSU barely winning ball games, things coming down to the wire. Auburn, they share. They're also a Tiger, War Eagle, Plainsman, or whatever else they've got down there. Auburn right now so far this season have somehow come up with the victories in the plays that they've needed versus South Carolina. They generated turnovers out of the quarterback position, ultimately led to Stephen Garcia getting yanked. in weeks before, they've somehow or other held on to victories versus Mississippi State. I don't know that you can do that down the stretch. I'm sure Gene Chizik, you talk about not getting any sleep, and you're Bobby Petrino. They're losing leads going after halftime. They don't have to even score in the second half. Auburn jumps out to a lead versus Kentucky and had to somehow stifle that offense in the second half. Randall Cobb was making plays all over the field.
You think about Gene Chizik and the task ahead. These Tigers have to play 11 in a row before they get their bye week, and then they have an extra week to prepare for Alabama.
Two of the best quarterbacks in the nation in the SEC going head-to-head on Saturday. Ryan Mallett, Cam Newton, Arkansas, Alabama. Guys, this will be a great one.
It will be, and you're right. The two quarterbacks seem to be stealing the headlines for this game, but I think it's really Auburn's defensive front coming into this game. Nick Fairley's been doing it all year. Really, the entire group of the front four that Auburn has can get pressure, and at home, in that environment of Jordan Hare, getting into the face of Ryan Mallett, creating turnovers, creating havoc will be a key to being able to diffuse this Arkansas offense and being able to create some turnovers to get the ball back to Cam Newton and let him do his thing.
Yeah, you know, this is going to be the most prolific passing offense that Auburn's defense will face all year. I mean, when you look at Ryan Mallett and the talent around him, you hear a lot of talk about the wide receivers, but he has a tight end, DJ Williams. This guy can be the X factor. I don't know if Auburn's defense, if they have anyone on that side of the ball who can match up man-to-man with DJ Williams and shut him down. So watch out for DJ Williams this game. This guy could be a difference maker for Auburn. For Arkansas, I'm sorry.
Arkansas at Auburn.
Arkansas.
Really?
I like the Razorbacks. High-scoring game, close, but Arkansas.
And Arkansas and Auburn in the SEC.
Well, this Cam Newton's one of the most exciting players, and then you have Ryan Mallett, who's thrown for at least 300 yards in every single football game this year. Last year, Auburn was 5-0, went up there, and Arkansas beat them decisively.
Bob Petrino, of course, closely tied with Auburn at one time. The offensive coordinator of the Tigers. In fact, he was on Tommy Tuberville's staff at the same time as Gene Chizik, who is now the head coach of the Tigers.
I'm putting Auburn on upset alert. I think it's going to be a very close game. The reason why? Because Arkansas has Ryan Mallett. He can throw the football. But the thing that bothers me about this Arkansas team, they've only scored 6 points in the second half in their last two games. They got to pick it up. They're traveling. They're going to be on the road. But they did defeat them by 3 touchdowns last year.
Both of these teams needing to pick it up in a big-time setting defensively and see what they're made of. And both will be tested by two of the better quarterbacks in the country. All right, if we're going to go the responsible opposing view, who's been the biggest surprise?
To me, it's been Auburn. I felt that Auburn really was lacking in a lot of different areas, but what Cam Newton has done for that football team is absolutely incredible. Their defense at Auburn has been very average at best, but when you take Cam Newton, who can throw the football, run the football, just total offense, and with Gus Malzahn's leading the offense up there, it has really been exciting to watch. Matter of fact, Cam Newton's a strong Heisman candidate.
Down, I'ma shine on sight. Keep your mind on your grind and off of mine's alright. Hard, I'ma ball on those squares. I float.
Cameron will keep it himself. Drives ahead. Touchdown, Auburn!
Lead, it may see me might be, but no matter what they doing, they don't do it like me.
Nobody's gonna catch him. To the 5. Touchdown!
Little flash like that. Recognize I'm back.
Auburn offensive coordinator Gus Malzahn certainly loving to call some plays for that young man right there. Cam Newton, huge pickup for Auburn as a junior college transfer. Now a very intriguing matchup as the Auburn Tigers go up against the Arkansas Razorbacks because of Gus Malzahn's connection to Springdale, Arkansas, where he used to be a high school head coach. You go into the future of the quarterback position. You have a player in Kyle Frazier from Springdale, Arkansas, that was actually recruited by Gus Malzahn when he was at Tulsa. Now that he's going to be going to Auburn, what do you think he can do coming into the shadows of what Cam Newton has set up?
Well, I think what they're going to get is a young man who can kind of keep them going on the same track that Cam Newton is building. Now, Gus Malzahn made his name at Springdale High School, but he actually started out at Shiloh Christian School, and he's got a lot of ties there. So Kyle Frazier is going to come to Auburn, working in an offense that Auburn already uses, so he's going to have some familiarity. He's got great size. He could be a dual threat guy. He's very athletic. They got to do some tone work with his mechanics, but he's got a lot of tools, and they've really got themselves a good quarterback who can kind of assimilate quickly once he gets some of the mechanical things worked out because of how he's used to, not only the system, but also kind of Gus Malzahn and the lineage he left at Shiloh Christian and Springdale, Arkansas as a whole.
Auburn has had tremendous success lately recruiting in Arkansas. More on that in a moment, but you think those home state kids, this is where you want them signing up if you're a Razorback fan, and they are getting some of that with Mitch Smothers, number 5 offensive guard, and Bray Cook, the number 7 offensive tackle in the nation. Both of these prospects from Springdale, Arkansas. In the case of Smothers, he actually picked the Razorbacks over programs like Auburn and the Alabama Crimson Tide. You talk Coach Petrino, he likes offense. He likes offensive linemen. What can these two players mean in terms of setting up this offense for success once you have guys like Ryan Mallett and the current crop moving on?
Well, they've got 3 seniors on that offensive line. They've got a lot of upperclassmen backing up those spots. Arkansas has done a nice job under Bobby Petrino of filling in the offensive line to last class. But now what they're going to get are 2 of the premier tackles in the South. Bray Cook is a very good offensive tackle. I think he's got the mechanics to be a great left tackle. He's a very good pass blocker. He really knows how to get back, get set, can handle speed off the edge. Mitch Smothers is really key because this is a young man who we project as a guard but has the ability to play tackle or center. Anytime you get a player on the offensive line is that versatile, it's huge because you never have to worry about injuries. You can move them where need be, Lowell.
Arkansas currently the 17th ranked class in the ESPN U150. So critical to keep guys close to home. In the case of the last few seasons, they haven't always had success doing that. Back in 2006, it was all good. You at least got Mitch Mustaine from Springdale, who was coached by Malzahn off the bat, but then went to USC and has seemingly disappeared. Lee Zimba, one of the standouts for the Auburn offensive line, one of the top players from the state of Arkansas back in 2007. And then recently, this past recruiting class, Michael Dyer on his way to play for the Auburn Tigers, where he has done fantastic. We welcome in Corey Long, our recruiting insider. Corey, this is on paper such an intriguing matchup. Arkansas up against the Auburn Tigers, but in terms of recruitment, not generating a lot of buzz. Why is that the case?
It just comes down to it happens to be one of those weeks to where, you know, some of the top targets are either, you know, not going to any games, or they might just be taking some unofficials to different schools to check things out. At the end, Auburn was able to get some, you know, a lot of their top targets will be in for the LSU game upcoming, but they were able to get in some pretty good players. Rike Florence out of Valley, Alabama, he's probably their top defensive back target. Also, Roberson Therize out of Miami will also be attending this game. They've got some major 2012 prospects like Michael Flint out of Oxford, Alabama, and Justin Shanks, the big D tackle out of Prattville, Alabama, that will also be making this trip. So it's not going to be, you know, it's not going to be the huge numbers that you're going to have for the LSU game, but it's still going to be a pretty decent group of players that are going to be at this game.
There's going to be a great atmosphere on the Plains, though. That's one of the things we're talking about. Great quarterback matchup at Auburn. Arkansas and Auburn, first time they've ever met, these two teams both ranked, Stitch.
A couple of power forwards at the quarterback position, 6'6", big guys. Ryan Mallett does it with his arm, a big arm at that, the number 1 in the SEC passer. But Cam Newton, the dual threat, the leading rusher in the conference right now in this Auburn rushing attack, really vaunted versus Arkansas's defense.
What dictates how an offensive line or an offensive lineman blocks for the quarterback behind them?
Well, it depends on how the defense is going to try to attack your offense, and your type of quarterback determines that. Ryan Mallett is a pocket passer. You want your rush to get there, but if it doesn't, you're playing zone behind. A good pocket passer can carve up your D and leave nothing but the bones, and if you blitz and they're running man, well, then they can torch you. He's ordering a napalm strike on your secondary. Cam Newton, he hurts you with his legs. And even when they're in 5 wides and 1 quarterback in the backfield, it's a run formation. So now it's not just pressure the passer, cover the receiver, but also contain the runner because your quarterback is your leading rusher. So when you look at that, it's always a challenge defensively. And if you're an offensive lineman and you've got a pocket passer, a defensive end's got a 3-way go. He'll come inside, he'll come outside. If you've got a runner, he's not going to want to pressure and flush out that quarterback because then he's running behind man coverage. You get a big play like that. So as an offensive lineman, I don't know if you pick your poison. You get a good pocket passer, they're just as dangerous as a runner.
Yeah, lots more too on this and on this matchup coming up at 11 Eastern time right here.
Who is the best team in the SEC?
Well, you talk about which week. I don't know who it's going to be today, but I can tell you last week it was South Carolina. The week before that it was Alabama. The week before that it was Auburn. The SEC is far too balanced to pick one team as being dominant in my estimation.
I think you've got to go to the undefeated teams. I think right off the top you've got to go to LSU and you've got to go to Auburn. But I've got to take Auburn over LSU. The reason why is because they have a quarterback that can make plays in Cameron Newton. Not only with his arm, but also with his legs. And he'll put his team in position each and every game to win because you've got a mobile quarterback that can make big plays.
And he still needs a nickname, by the way.
Newtonator. Because he'll be back.
Not feeling it. Not feeling it.
Cameronator.
Oh, okay, we'll keep working on the nickname. But which quarterback in that Arkansas-Auburn game will be most effective, Ryan Mallett or Cam Newton?
I would say it's going to be Cam Newton. Now, Ryan Mallett has thrown for 300 yards in every game he's played this year, but I think that Cam Newton is the whole offense for Auburn. For Auburn to be successful, Cam Newton is going to have a tremendous day. Let's understand this. He's one of the top rushers in the entire country, and he carried the ball one time against a Division I AA team for minus 11 yards. Despite that, he is still statistically high.
I think both quarterbacks will be extremely successful and effective in this game. And the reason why, they're two different quarterbacks. You've got one quarterback in Ryan Mallett is in a pro-style offense that'll stand in the pocket and throw the ball vertically. You've got another quarterback in the spread offense that will run and throw the ball. But I think the bottom line, college football, when you're running the spread offense, a quarterback that's big, strong, mobile, that can throw the ball, I look at Cameron Newton.
All right, who's the team that most needs to win?
I think that the team that needs the most win would be Auburn, because last year they started out 5-0, just like they did this year. They went up to Arkansas last year, and Arkansas has beat them 2 straight years, 3 out of the last 4, and just pummeled Auburn. If Auburn loses this football game, it's going to be like, oh, here we go again, just like last year.
Look, you'll get it. Well, they've been creeping while you're sleeping here, from a fringe contender in the SEC West to a serious contender for the whole crystal ball. Can we get a War Eagle up in here for the Auburn Tigers, living on the edge? 4 very tight but quality wins here. They got the nation's co-MVP the first half of the season, Cam Newton, a Heisman contender that cannot be ignored. He's leading the SEC in passing efficiency and also rushing yards, responsible for 21 touchdowns, and 13 of those when the game was within a 7-point margin. That's amazing. Today begins a tricky 2-game stretch. You got the Hogs and then the Hat. Les Miles and LSU next week. If they win those 2 games, they're going to be 11-0 going to Tuscaloosa for a titanic game. But Gene Chiswick says, whoa, whoa, let's focus first on the Razorbacks today.
Had a baby, T-Bell. Get it out, get it out, get it out, get it out. Typical practice at Auburn would be fast and physical. Let's go. Got to be live today. Got to be live today. Bang, right there. Good. Explosive body. Get your eyes around and burst. Even though sometimes they don't really appreciate it, they know they're always going to be shot straight. There ain't no hopefully. We're all right. I know that. You ain't got a choice. Arkansas presents a lot of challenges. They're a complete offense that's very difficult to stop. So yeah, I'm playing a third, but when 2 threats become 1, I want to make a play on the ball. Let's go, baby. Tomahawk it. There you go. Right there, good. There you go.
Yeah, Mallett and Newton, impressive so far. They do it in different ways. Mallett, 345 total yards per game. Newton at 301. Look at the completion percentage on 20-yard attempts. That's where Mallett has really excelled here. 25-yard passes. Now, Newton's still thrown 13 of them. These guys, again, it's almost a quarter ton between them. Big dudes. You realize the average size for a quarterback in the SEC this year? Almost 6'4", 225. You go back to 1980, it was 6'1", 190.
Unbelievable.
Big quarterbacks. All right, now, Newton is going to face the more consistent defense, Kirk. That's what's surprising you so far. It's Arkansas playing a little bit better defense than Auburn so far.
Yeah, and they're very athletic, and, they're going to crowd the line of scrimmage like everybody does whenever they face Cam Newton. And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. But the interesting thing, talking to Gus Malzahn, Auburn's offensive coordinator this week, is they kind of had a plan in August, but after seeing 6 or 7 weeks of football and realizing what Cam Newton's strengths are and what this offensive strengths are, this offense continues to develop. So let's take a look and kind of show you some of the specifics of what Cam's really doing well. This is this week's Home Depot coach's playbook. The mesh point is always so important in zone read. Look how long his arms are. The reason that's important is it allows him to stay on his read that much longer to be able to either pull the ball in this case or give it to the running back. But long arms, Gus Malzahn says, really has helped him in his own read play. Here's the other thing. If you play man and you're going to try to say, you know what, we're just going to have to get some numbers up front, you're taking risk, because you guys know when defensive backs are in man coverage, one guy misses a tackle, Cam Newton has the ability to go downfield in a hurry. And the other thing, and I think this will be the key today, is he's getting other players involved. Terrell Zachary coming around on the fly sweep, kind of not necessarily flying here, just kind of almost a decoy, but he's able to read coverage, look downfield, come off of it, little check down here, which looks simple, but because of all the moving parts, and Auburn does so many different things with their offense, a little throw like that is able to pick you up 10 or 15 yards. And I think tonight, or in this game, I think Arkansas is going to have to take some chances. They're going to have to take away Auburn's ability to run the football. The problem is Gus Malzahn's as good as there is with creativity, pre-snap movement, personnel groupings, constantly evolving and changing. And because of that, Des, I think it allows Cam Newton still to get his yards on the ground. And I think Auburn wins this football game because Newton continues to get this thing going.
Yeah, I like Cam Newton. You said Gus says the long arms, so you got the Scottie Pippen factor coming into football.
Absolutely.
Okay. How about the other quarterback, Ryan Mallett? I mean, Arkansas's passing game is probably the most prolific that Auburn's defense will see all year. And the reason he's so effective is that Mallett has a lot of talent around him. And once he gets the ball into these guys' hands, they know exactly what to do. Let's start with Joe Adams, number 3. Watch this wideout right here in the bubble screen. He comes around, he gets a nice block by his tight end, number 45, and then he knows exactly what to do to make the first guy miss, break that tackle, and he's off to the races. Weave it in, weave it out, step out of bounds, save yourself for the next play. And how about this kid? Greg Childs, number 85. This is a game-winning touchdown against Georgia. It's not pretty, but he catches the ball, makes the first guy miss, and then he runs with intention. He knows where he's trying to go. I think this guy right here, though, the tight end, number 80, number 45, DJ Williams, he can be the difference in this game because he can create matchup problems for the linebackers. He's big, very athletic, soft hands. You saw how he ran over the safety right there, took half of Georgia's defense to stop his momentum. I think that this group right here is going to cause all types of problems for Auburn's pass defense. I mean, Auburn's pass defense is 10th in the SEC, Coach. That's not good.
Yeah, but they got Cam. Hey, Cam Newton is responsible for 21 points a game. That's second in the nation. I tell you what, he can do it with his arm and his legs. But listen, Auburn wins a real close game on Wes Byram's last second field goal, his 6th of his career. Auburn, real close over Arkansas.
Yeah, and playing at home in all these big games for Auburn, I think that's been the key in a lot of their close games. But I want to see something from Ryan Mallett. I think he's become a front runner.
Yeah.
And things are going great for Ryan Mallett in Arkansas. Boy, Ryan Mallett, he's a great quarterback. And all of a sudden the ship starts to go down. He's pointing at the referee about a late hit. He's looking at his offensive line. Quit making excuses.
Yeah.
Go on the road and make some plays. I want to see if he can do it.
Sure.
I want to see if he has the chops to win this game.
All right.
Things
start going down when the feet start moving.
Yeah.
So if Nick Fairley is a big, tall pass rusher, he can get in there and they can get Mallett on the move. That's their only hope because they're never going to cover the receivers at Arkansas. Their back end is in trouble.
Yeah, they got to get pressure on Mallett.
I think there's major unease, despite your prediction, on the Plains because they remember Arkansas's 28-point beatdown a year ago. We'll see if the TP is going to be flying in Toomer's corner tonight. This is some tough games. You got one of the toughest slates for our celebrity guest pickers. Arkansas at Auburn. That's a tough one.
Two of the most exciting quarterbacks in the game, and Cameron and Mallett. I think Mallett's going to have his number today. Pass all over him. I think Arkansas with the upset at Auburn.
Not so fast.
Yeah, that's my first one.
That's the first one.
Yeah.
Cam Newton wins it. Cam Newton.
I'm going with
Against your
Auburn.
quarterback.
I'm going with Auburn and Cam Newton at home.
Oh, yes.
He's back to return it. The freshman Modriquez Humphrey had return kicks in place of the injured Dennis Johnson for a couple of games. Adams got the call last week. So the wide receiver will grab this. Oh, they barely got it at the goal line. Joe Adams up and out of bounds at the 18, second and 10. Fake the toss, handed off inside to Niall Davis, number 7. Tigers. Mario Fannin, as Tracy reported, will get the start. And there's Newton tucking it. Well, he doesn't wait long to run, and this time he picks up only 1 yard. Signed with Florida, played 1 year, redshirted the next, transferred to Blinn. More as we go along. Fannin cut down by Jericho Nelson, number 31. 3rd and 20 after the 30-yard gain negated. Newton hands it off, and it'll be a punt. Is the deep back, number 20. Play fake. Mallett pulls it up, lobs it out. Nice.
Make him at least throw it.
That's DJ Williams setting up to the left side. Play fake. Mallett. Oh, he's got a man wide open. Oh, my goodness. There's a flag in the end zone. However, it's a touchdown.
Holding. Number 46 on the defense. Penalty decline. Touchdown.
Well, they shifted from the second receiver to the third receiver when the man went in motion, and that's what confused Auburn.
he became the third receiver. They had him at 1 and 2, but when they got to 3, that was just a little too difficult.
Razorbacks come on the road and get the first TD of the afternoon.
Well, this looks familiar, and I know one group of fans, Florida fans, cover your eyes because this was your quarterback. And that's the way it used to happen, but doesn't happen anymore out in Gainesville.
The freshman who started the last 3 games, Tracy said they were going to give him a little bit of a test and see if he could go full speed. To the right of Cameron Newton, corner blitz. Newton pulled up against Kentucky, but Newton missed a big opportunity. I think many of you know, Mallett began his career at Michigan, started 3 games as a true freshman, and this pass on the line and another fine open field tackle. Second down, left side. Roderick Green, number 29, into the secondary and out near the 50.
Much happened. He's very patient, and they're in the football game, obviously.
4-man rush. Mallett caught. Jarius Wright. That's another Arkansas first down.
Caught a tipped pass. Another fastball. Let's see. Yes, it was. You could see it knocked down right up front. I think it was Zach Clayton that got his hand on it.
Twas. Childs sets up in the slot. Toss. Near side. Up to first down. How about that? Joe Adams.
You could see it right there.
That was a gain of 12 on 3rd and 9. Mallett strong arms this one. Nice job of holding on by Kobe Hamilton.
He's going to read this guy. He's been making tackles on the slot. Now watch what he does. Mallett has been throwing fastballs. He says he's squatting. I'm going right over his head.
Now he's a blocker to the right side as an old-fashioned wing. Mallett, as he lets it go, is hit. And there is a flag.
Oh, my.
Oh, dear. That was anything but a violent collision. However, touchdown, Arkansas. Arkansas leads by 4.
There in the Heisman talk.
Fannin, touchdown.
Oh, he dropped the ball.
Did he really?
Yes.
It's out of there. As he was going in, the ball came out.
It was a bad, he had it, that's for sure. Helmet right on the football. And that's what caused it. It came out right before it got to the line. It's very, very close.
Jericho Nelson with the pop. Fannin lost his starting spot. He's had shoulder problems, but he's had fumble problems as well.
The ruling on the field is a touchdown.
And that is true. You can see Tremaine Thomas is the guy. Oh, I don't know. I'll tell you, I don't know. Now remember, Thomas is right in the way of the replay official. So the key point here is it's ruled a touchdown on the field. I didn't think he had it when he crossed the line. It's between his feet. Thomas pushes it out right at the line. Now remember again, Vern, it was called a touchdown.
Exactly. Jim Allison, by the way, is the replay official.
I gotta say, you want me to guess?
That they won't overturn it?
I don't know if they've got enough to overturn it. Because in the one view that you could tell, he's being blocked. Logic tells you he doesn't have it.
Right.
There it comes out.
But you can't tell from
Not
that
from there.
angle.
You can't tell if he's crossed the plane that goes all the way up in the air. How close is that?
Now, Tremaine Thomas, it was Jericho Nelson with the first hit, then number 5, Tremaine Thomas.
Logic tells you he didn't cross, but vision doesn't. This is a very interesting one. I don't think you're allowed to speculate. That's the funny part of this one.
Was the ball in his possession when he is said to have crossed the line?
It was Thomas's right hand we saw from behind is the one that tapped the ball out.
Right.
Now, if you put the two pictures together, you say, oh my God, he didn't cross it. But there is no picture to verify that. I am not a fence sitter, but I'm right in the middle.
The ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Get a pretty good argument from Bobby Petrino. Here's an interesting shot, Gary.
I'll tell you what Bobby Petrino is saying. He's saying, who called the touchdown? Because you'll see one official down on the bottom throws the bag. The umpire doesn't signal touchdown. Who signals touchdown is what Bobby Petrino is saying. That's the blimp shot. Watch down here. This official throws the bag. That symbolizes a fumble right there. We're still looking for somebody, one of the officials, to signal who signaled touchdown is what Bobby Petrino's saying. He's arguing the opposite. He's saying the officials on the field ruled it a fumble. That's his argument.
Expected to play in this one. Here's Mallet, and that's Fairley.
Hey, lands on him, that could be left arm, left rib cage.
Eric Smith also a part of it. And in a 2-minute span, Gene Chizik's team has extended its lead. Niall Davis is the running back. Little flip out on the right side. That's caught. There's a missed tackle. And this is Joe Adams. And they got the first down at the 34. Wilson, deep right side, man coverage. Battle. Is it caught? It is. Touchdown. Greg Childs, number 85.
Childs hands it to him. You see that? Boy, Nico Thorpe is going to want this one back, Vern. Ball up in the air, good position, turn around and find the ball. He never looked back for the ball. Able to throw the ball. 7 plays, 3 of them passes, and he puts it right to the outside, and Childs gets some separation and gets the touchdown.
One in the first half.
Just 48 points, an injury to a Heisman hopeful, and 2 of the teams that control their destiny, Jones, Ambrose, Wright, Miles Nash, those guys have to make plays. Got a little note here, should they put a spy on Cam Newton? I said, if it's not Ray Lewis, it's not going to work.
And there's a sack. On 4th down and 6. Auburn comes. Across the middle, diving catch.
Short. It was short.
He caught it, but he's short.
A good spot. Let's see if it's good enough to start with.
Oh, my goodness. Deep man open, caught. Ronnie Wingo, touchdown, Arkansas.
Game of inches, isn't it? Linebacker on running back. Let's see what happens. Coming out of the backfield. A little bit of a pick play. Did you see the wide receiver come down and try to get in the way? That caused just a moment of delay. Just a moment of delay for Stevens. And the ball was perfectly thrown. What a football game, huh?
I'm going to hang around. Will charm you. He's absolutely a delightful young man and a pretty decent quarterback. That occurred at the 9:42 clock spot in the second quarter. Little flea flicker. Going deep, man coverage down there. The catch is made. Caught at the 27 by Greg Childs.
This was not fooled. He was man-to-man coverage all the way. You can get this throw anytime you want in the game. A deep, it almost hit the camera on that one.
Yes.
It came right by you. One-on-one against Nico Thorpe.
In place of the injured Ryan Mallett, and he has been brilliant. 12 of 13. That one's caught. Touchdown. Whoa, on a rope.
Oh, my goodness.
Joe Adams.
There's not a backup in the country that can throw a ball like that. Right on the 3-yard line. perfect throw and execution.
To Alabama, but everybody is in play. Fanning, it's going to be third down alongside Cam Newton. Blitz, they come.
I think that's what you got to do to him. I don't know any other way to do it.
They got him.
And number 1 coming from the left side of the screen, comes inside and just eats up the space. I think that's the way you have to get him.
4 catches for 110 yards. Now under center. Handoff. This is Niall Davis. And he works his way still upright. Oh, baby! On third down, there's the pass in the inside route. It is caught, and it's going to be Arkansas in for the touchdown. Greg Childs, 5th catch of the day.
Childs is a wonderful receiver. Watch him accelerate way out here, accelerate into the throw. This ball is laid way out in the hole. Watch him just run through it. Runs right through it and then just goes the end. Boy, that is.
Roll out. Drills it. Caught. Yep. 2 points are good. Childs again.
Right foot down first. Watch the awareness. On the run. He knows he's going to go out of bounds. Watch him tap his right foot first. Wonderful play.
Tyler Wilson, who came on in relief of this man, Ryan Mallett. Hogs lead. Mario Fanning tripped. Looked like he was going to. Cameron Newton. What a show he's putting on for his head coach, Gene Chizik.
Now, what are they going to do? They're coming after him. They are.
Wilson lets it go.
Wonderful catch.
Greg Childs again. That's good for a first down. 10 to go. Toss. Right side. First down, Arkansas. It's Brandon Green. The ball's out. The ball is loose. This is Zach Etheridge. There are no flags. That's ruled a touchdown. Blanc with the first hit.
He still got it.
Stevens with the second.
Ball's out. Right?
Yeah, it sure is.
It was starting to be fumbled. I don't think he was on the ground.
No. He was on the body of Mike Blanc.
That first look was pretty dramatic for me. Let's see if we
here's
see
Blanc.
something.
Look at 93.
Was his knee down, Vern?
I think
that first look, I thought I saw the ball move.
Blanc, number 93. Craig Stevens.
Any movement? Boy, was he it's close. It is close again.
Here we are again, Gary. The call on the field was fumble.
Yep. Let's see if his knee was down. Can we stop it? He's got the ball. Is he down? And then it comes out. Jeez.
And another view. There's the knee. Is the knee down? Oh.
I think his knee was down. I'm going to go.
On that play,
I think they're going to overturn it.
On that replay.
I think they're going to overturn it. I think Arkansas is going to get one here.
On the ground. Right there.
Right.
Boom. Now is the ball out?
We don't know. You got to tie the two together.
So the call on the field was fumble touchdown.
I think this one deserves a long look. If I'm the replay official, I want every look possible. He's got the ball. One picture from behind, his knees down. The other one you can't see when the ball is loose, though.
Okay, here's Penn Wages.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
So, the scoring binge continues, 51-43.
Touchdowns.
Now, Tyler Wilson on, so brilliant in relief until that last pass. Ryan Mallett, what a day. Cameron Newton, what a day. Hand up. Niall Davis.
My goodness.
And the BCS standings are released tomorrow. first ones of the year. Here's Wilson. That catch is made by Childs. That's going to be his 9th grab of the ball game. I'm so glad we don't have to recap every touchdown ever again in this one. 65-43, Gene Chizik's team wins it. The Auburn Tigers remain undefeated.